It's fun, man. It's awesome. It's just so many different opportunities. It's crazy because I'm 28 right now. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have been like, am I going to be alive at 28?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Born to Tint Podcast. I'm Ricky, and I'm glad to be here with my big brother, Josh.
How's it going, everyone? Today, we had a guest on, a local entrepreneur, started back in May, already has 4 businesses going. Alan Alegre with Valley View Cleaning. Very fun conversation with a young entrepreneur that's going and going to do some big things. Check it out.
And we'll see you next summer. I'm excited for next summer. This was a great summer, but I'm excited for next summer.
Yeah, man. You in business for yourself long enough, you realize you solve one problem to create another, and it's just a cycle that doesn't stop, man.
Yeah, man.
How long have you been in business, man?
Officially, May 4th.
Oh,
Officially,
nice.
Man, I was an electrician. I was making cool money. I didn't quit for money. But honestly, I'm hard-headed. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's not that I don't like listening to people, but I like figuring things out on my own. And what I mean by hard-headed,
Bring the mic like a little closer, man. Yeah, there you go.
what I mean by hard-headed is when I want to do something, it's in my head like, no, I got to figure it out. I want to finish it. And honestly, working for somebody is not it. If you have that mindset, because you got to do what they say, And I tried door knocking last year. I did solar, roofing claims. Solar, I didn't really like. Roofing claims was cool, but I like door knocking. So I was like, man, I got to find something else. And randomly, I got this random ad, water-fed pool system.
Is it that kid out of Canada, Josh? Or,
no, man. It was to buy the actual system. I didn't see nothing on, clean windows.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm just looking at it. So I started looking at videos, and people door knock at this too. So I showed it to my girl. I'm like, look, babe, it's like the whole setup for like $3,000. She's like, well, you're gonna buy it? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay. She didn't really take it seriously. And then I'm like, oh, look, I bought it. She's looking at me like, you bought it? I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, and I got it, and I'm like, dang, well, I got a full-time job. I have this system that I just spent a few thousand in. Like, what am I gonna do? I was working nights, and I was doing it during the day a little bit. And I told them, hey, when I go back to days, like, can you guys please let me know? Like, I have things going on during the day. They told me, yeah. Well, they didn't let me know. They're like, hey, tomorrow you're going on days. So I was like, yeah, I quit. And they're like, you quit? I'm like, yeah. They're like, what can we do? I'm like, nothing, I quit. Like, I asked for time, and I couldn't get it. I understand, it's your guys' business, but I got to do my own thing. And yeah, man, I quit, went full in, door knocking, networking, and these pants, well, it's almost like it's been a few months. Man, I have met so many people that want to put me in positions that they just want to help out. Like a lot of these people right here, like I've met like so randomly, you guys, like, all these opportunities just started coming and coming and coming. And I'm like, whoa. There'll be days I'll door knock like 100 doors, nothing. Get yelled at. Then I started, like, okay, it's cool. Not everybody wants to be sold. I get it, So I started going to bigger neighborhoods. So when they'll say, no, they're not interested, I'm like, okay, but can you guys give me advice? You guys have a nice car, a nice house. Like, I want to be in this position. So then people started looking at me crazy. Like, you're just going to stop your sales pitch? I'm like, well, not everybody wants to be sold. And honestly, that was like one of the best things I did, because I started building relationships and just meeting people. They really just took time out of their day, give me their numbers and just helping me with business overall. Because I don't know nothing about business. I'm learning as I go. I was an electrician. I was in construction. So business does translate everywhere. So it's a pretty fun journey right now. How you were saying, you fix one thing and then another problem pops up. So it's a crazy journey, man. It's a crazy journey.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah, and it never ends. But that's the fun part, to be honest. It's obviously very satisfying when you're able to solve one thing and you like, all right, this is going good, and then it's like, all right, what can we do next? And you start running through, was it 5 things? offer, sales, operations. What's the last two?
I don't know exactly what you're referencing.
Ryan, the 5 things that we're always constantly trying to fix within our business. Very first thing we fixed when we started working with him was our offer. We doubled our price.
Marketing, sales,
Marketing,
operations.
Does this one follow up? No. Whatever, beside the point.
Yeah.
It's like 5 core things that it's like, you know, we ended up hiring Pineda to be our business mentor about just over a year and a half ago. At that point, we had already had a business relationship for about 6 months, helping with the podcast, getting things set up. And when he asked us if we'd be interested, I mean, for me, I was like, yeah, we're going to make this happen. We ended up finding out how much, and obviously it was a big spend, but thankfully we were at a point where it's like, I'd rather spend that money and then not be guessing what we're doing is correct, because we're at that point now. You know, we finally broke 2 million in a year, and it was like, I always looked at what was our gross number. And it's like, all right, when I was like getting out of high school, we were at, I think, like 700,000 or 800,000. My goal was I want us to be $1 million company. And at that time, just me being an installer and knowing nothing about business. And in my eyes, still up until probably about a year and a half ago, I knew nothing about business. I obviously knew what I knew with the people I was networking with and getting the advice from them. But like, I wasn't looking at it the correct way. I was still looking at it as being the installer, or I was the one behind the knife installing and just trying to make sure operations were going good, but not actually paying attention to the business numbers the way I should be. But that was probably one of our biggest leaps, because after I got to that million mark, I was like, all right, I want to get to 2. We got to 2, and it's like, I would rather hire someone that I was already following this content, and following him in general. He played ball in Vegas growing up, so I already knew of him, and like, I see his success, and the success is undeniable. And then felt like I've kind of got to know him, especially after the 6 months of us working with him and his team. We really got to know him. I'd rather pay for the advice instead of being out in the middle of the ocean treading water. Are we going the right direction? Maybe. That could take us 6 to 8 months to figure out, because you make one decision, and maybe because you don't realize what you did, we just wasted 8 months. Like, okay, that wasn't the best thing. Now let's change it. Let's go to this. And it's like, all right, you waste another 6 to 8 months. Or we go to someone who we can actually sit down, I think our first meeting with him was about 4 hours long. And we went through all of our numbers, went through all the different things. And it was like, all right, what's the highest leverage thing that we can pull right now? What's the biggest lever we can pull that's going to make a difference right now?
What's the real constraint?
Yeah, focus on that. Yes, you have the other problems, and yes, they're on the list, but focus on that constraint first. Ours was the offer, is that we weren't charging enough. We had so many leads and we were so booked out. It's like, you need to raise your price. And, you know, for any entrepreneur, when you sit there and you pretty much double your price across the board, it can be a little nerve-wracking, because it's like, all right, are we doing the right thing? And is this going to work? Or are we about to just be dead because we're charging too much? And you'll be surprised. I think the amount of yeses we got was, in my eyes, it was shocking. But I mean, we still got some people that were like, "Oh, you're crazy." But would you rather do 100 clients for say $100, or do 50 clients for 200?
2.
Yeah. So it was, and it's also then realizing that there are going to be different groups of people you sell to. Which group of people are you trying to sell to? A lot of people are going to value their time more than anything else, and usually the people that value their time that much usually are pretty successful and are willing to spend money. Like, I'd rather it be done in a timely fashion. I know I'm getting quality. I can see your reputation because I can see all the reviews you have, and you've been in business for this long. So we had the brand, we had the tenure of how long we've been open. So it was just then pointing the marketing machine at that and being consistent on all those things. But that was probably one of the best things we did, was brought him on as a business mentor. At least for me, it made me look at the business completely different. And then also, when I am out now with our usual industry events and I'm around the people I usually do network with, my conversations have gotten deeper now, because now I kind of know what I want to ask. Beforehand, it was just kind of me just consuming from them. Now it's like I'm asking certain questions about their operations, their ad spend, what their customer acquisition costs, like all that stuff, just seeing where they're at and just trying to gather information. You know, it's fun. It's definitely fun. It's completely different from being an installer or being the main labor, because I mean, we've been lucky enough I've had to hold every position to get to where I'm at, but I'm grateful for that, because lets me actually look at the business in a different way to know, like, I know how that person technically might feel at the moment, because I was in that position about 10 years ago when I was the main installer, butting heads with my dad about decisions or getting things done in a certain way. Very grateful for that, because now I look at it where I try to be as open as I possibly can with my guys, and I tell them, what do you need? What's your plan? As long as their plan I know is going to solve the problem, it might not be what I want to do, or I might think there's a better way of doing it, which I'll try to have a conversation to where I don't want to steer it in a way to make it seem like I'm telling you what to do. I'm just going to ask questions. Well, what if this happens? And see what they, let's have a conversation with them, and then actually back off and let them do their thing. Yes, they're going to be missteps, but I had missteps. You don't grow without those missteps. You got to take those on the chin. They suck. It is what it is. Like, we have a house right now that we have to replace, I think about 6-7 windows. And because we thought the manufacturer that we used had a window warranty for the exterior film, ended up finding out about a year and a half ago, no, they do not. Yeah. And we've stopped selling that for the most part. Windows that we don't trust, but like, I know I'm probably about to eat $5,000 to $6,000. Is what it is. Learn from it. Make sure it never happens again. But is what it is. It's just part of business. Take your lumps and keep moving.
Would you say leadership is a big role that you guys gotta like play a part in, or
yes?
Yeah, did it come easy that you guys?
No, not easy at all. Probably one of the more harder things I've had to get better at. I still strive to get better. Books I'm going to recommend is Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership. That changed the way I looked at my business, or in the leadership aspect.
All of his books, really.
Start with that one, and then go through the entire gamut of all his books, and then continue to keep doing it over and over again. I've listened to all those books multiple times. I've been to 2 of his seminars. One, I go to another one again, just because like the 2 that I went to, they technically were almost the same thing. 1 or 2 different speakers, but like, they both, Jocko and Leif, like the head 2 guys, still kind of gave the exact same rundown. They went through the same scenarios, the same things they talked about, but I got way more. I didn't say I got more out of it the second time. I understood it more the second time, because I went through it the first time. I got out what I needed to get out, or what I could actually consume and comprehend at that moment. Went back to the business, tried to implement as much as I could. And then when I went back again, it might have been the same, but I saw and learned so much more because of my previous the previous time I went, and the experience I had past that it was like, and then also the crazy thing was too, seeing how his operation changed too. I think there was about 1.5 years gap between the 2, and it got a little bigger, but like the seamlessness of how he empowers his team, and you get to watch him run, like his team run it. And like, he sits there and says like, they told me where to be, and I'm here. And it's like, any issue that comes up, like, they're very open of how they solve problems within their company. It's like, and you get to watch it happen in a lot, like, real time. Like, I think that's the coolest takeaway of going to one of his events.
What's his name again?
Jocko Willink.
Jocko.
Yeah,
his podcast is really good too. One of them's behind him.
Yeah, one of them. I don't have his original one, but he's got a couple of books. The green one on top is Leadership, right in the middle. Leadership, Strategy, and Tactics. 2 off to the right, you got Discipline Equals Freedom. That one is good. But then right down below, 1 shelf below, you have The Economy of Leadership. That's technically part 2 to the very first one. I would start with those ones, because they have definitely changed the way I view myself in the business and how I try to handle myself in the business.
The first book's really good, because he starts out with like a story of being an officer in the military as a Navy SEAL. And pretty much like highlights his biggest failure ever and how he took ownership on it. And just the way he tells that story is really powerful. Having been in the military and seen the leadership structure in the military compared to what you see in like movies, like, I think most people like see like Full Metal Jacket, and I think the military is boot camp or basic training. But once you're out of that phase, it's completely the opposite of that. There's a lot of empowering your lower enlisted to be leaders, and everything's about teaching people how to lead. It's huge, man. But I'm really excited hearing your story that you've only been doing this for as long as you have, and you're already going in the right direction. In my mind, all of this is like, if you're going to be successful in business, be a lifelong learner and keep looking for people that are more successful than you and keep learning and go back to stuff that you thought you already like understood and learned. Like go back to those books that were impactful, come back to them. Like he was saying, going back to that conference, it was like, there's more pieces you can pick up once you practice it. Having trained jujitsu for like 7 years now, that's one of the things I think is really good about doing stuff like that is you'll learn an armbar, say one of your very first classes. It's like one of the first things you're going to learn. 6 years in, somebody will teach armbar again and you'll have new takeaways because you've tried it hundreds of times now and had issues with it not working in certain scenarios. And then all of a sudden somebody gives you one little detail and all of a sudden, boom, now it works perfectly like in that scenario. So that's never going to stop. So if you've got the drive and the ambition and the risk appetite to be an entrepreneur and you're actively learning and trying to like ask questions and not think you know it all, you'll be successful. Like it's really that simple, man. Like it's
always be the small fish in the big pond.
And
it's something I've tried to, I still have to wrap my head around even when I've gone to a couple of different Orion's events and like he just launched a new mastermind called M19. It's a golf mastermind where you pay into it and then you go do certain courses, but it's an entire group of entrepreneurs that are in the minimum like seven to eight figure, 7, 8, and 9 figure businesses. And like before he launched that, he had one golf trip. It was up in Montana. I forget what the course was. And I was just asking like, hey, how much is this? And then he let me know the price. And because we were one-on-one, he let me know what it would cost. And I was like, all right, like, you know, are you going to do this again? He's like, yeah, we'll probably do like once a year type thing. I was like, I definitely want to go. I just don't feel, I feel extremely uncomfortable being around all the people in that group because I don't feel like our company compares. And like and again, comparison's the thief of joy. I'm stuck in my own head. I don't deserve to be around these guys. These guys are so much more successful. And I've expressed this to him. He's like, dude, you always want to be the small fish in the big pond. Like always surround yourself with people that are way more successful than you. And then just don't be afraid to ask questions. And for the most part, every time I've been around those people and I've talked to them, more than willing to have an open conversation. And they want to see you successful because they understand how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. There ain't nothing easy about it. Like it's very satisfying, but it's extremely stressful at the same time. And they've went through the struggles. Again, that's one of the reasons we hired him is how many businesses he has built and where he's been. Like he's went through all the pitfalls that like, let's go ahead and avoid those. And because we can have a conversation and be like, yeah, don't do that because of this. And he'll explain why. It's like, all right, that's why we hired you. This is definitely working. But yeah, always want to be the small fish in the big pond.
What's funny is this is making me think like another like kind of saying that's out there that I'm realizing there's like a dichotomy to it. There's no shortcuts, right? You got to put in the work. That's not entirely true. There are shortcuts. You need to be willing to pay for education. Like if you do want the good shortcut is pay to find out the things you don't know as quickly as possible. And now, as long as you act on it, there technically are shortcuts. Find out who's successful in what you're doing, pay to get the information from them, learn, and then implement it. And it's like, yeah, there's still going to be a journey. You're still going to make mistakes, and there's going to be a process to it. But I think education's the big thing. Not only have we learned that from Ryan, but like people like Alex Hormozy, that's like the main thing he's preaching. Man.
He's a beast.
Like that's it right there. Like pay that debt now. Because that's gonna pay dividends. That's another person that's been a huge influence is everything he's teaching. We went to one of his workshops right before we started doing the one-on-ones with Ryan, and that entire workshop was on find your constraint and pull the lever on the thing that matters the most. And for us, it was offer. And then it was like a month later, we sat down with Ryan for our first one-on-one.
It still was offer.
He said he came up with the exact same conclusion. It's like, okay, these are two very successful business people, and they both just told us the exact same thing, time to execute.
Yeah.
So,
which at the time we thought we were executing before we went to Ryan. And then Ryan's like, no, like by 50%, raise your prices until someone tells you you're crazy.
Yeah.
Which it did eventually happen. But
which I actually, in the past, that would have broke me because this guy basically told me to get the fuck out of his house. And I left with a giant smile on my face because I had just heard Alex Hormozy like a couple of days earlier, like your prices aren't high enough until somebody tells you you're crazy. And I was like, all right, I think we're at the right price now.
Yeah. We can stay where we're at. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the investing in yourself is a big thing. We didn't do that for, I'd say, decades. My parents starting the business were more of the mentality, keep it small, keep it all, which I do understand now, because obviously with the more you put on your plate, obviously the more stress it can add, especially if you are just trying to do it by yourself and figure things out as you go. When we finally started investing inward, I started sending, we had to build the auto team and the flat glass team. So on the auto side, I sent, we ended up switching manufacturers. They were offering me training. I was able to send my guys to training. In-house training can be done, but being able to send your guys or send your people out to something, either a training seminar or an event like the leadership conference with Jocko, it's a lot more impactful when it's not in-house, because in-house unfortunately still always leaves like, hey, let me borrow you for a second. We have to go take care of this. So you can get off course with it. So
and I think it's impactful from a leadership perspective, because that person now knows you've just invested time and money into them being better.
Yep.
Like, I think that's probably even the more important part of
it. Boost the confidence. Like, hey, I want to send you to this. Like I want to send you to training because I want to make you better. If you're better, you make more money. If you're making more money, the shop, we'll be successful together. So it's big thing was invest in yourself. That's what we went to that leadership conference. And then I was able to go again and took my auto manager. At the time, he was our main installer, and he just got switched to be our auto manager. He's about a year in. And as much as I know I needed to go back to that conference, because if I have to try to lead the company, like I need to be the best leader I possibly can. Like I want my auto manager to, same thing. I went to him and was like, hey, we're going to go do this together. And it was very impactful for us. And that's where at least I try at least once a year. I want everyone to go to some type of training, because we all can get better at our aspects of our job. And also, it's to boost confidence too. Like I want to invest in you. I want to make, you're not good, but we can all be better, including myself. So if in my eyes, if I was working for a company and they are willing to invest in me to go better myself, I mean, what is that going to do for your confidence? But just make it better.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So do that. That's one thing I wish we would have done earlier, because I was like, we always got new equipment. We'd buy the new machine, get the new tools and all that. And like, I consider that an investment, which it still is, but like actually being able to send, when you get to a point where you can either go to something yourself or send your people to something, the impact in that investment is far greater. And that was a big thing that we started doing. And that's why I looked at, even again, back to hiring Ryan, that was an investment into ourselves. We're lucky enough to where it's me, my brother, and my sister. It's technically a one-on-one, but for us, it's a one-on-three. We all three go meet with him once a month. He's here in town. So we sit down, we go over what we talked about the previous one, what's the new issues that we're having. We roll through our numbers, make sure everything's on track. And it's like we have him as a personal asset, him and his team.
Yeah, and even in between those meetings, like
I text,
send him a text, send him a voice memo, he immediately replies. So we got something we need an answer on right now. It's always instant. So that's, if you'd have told me like 5 years ago we were going to spend as much as we are with him on anybody to help us, I'd have been like, that's insane. It's like the best investment we've ever made. For sure.
Yeah, I believe it.
What are you doing as far as like door knocking? What have been your pivots from the advice you've gotten from people?
So I stopped door knocking. Haven't door knocked in a few months now. I took a dramatic turn, like how you were talking about mentorship. I came across a mentor, and same thing. He's like in the home service industry, and why not? He has a team as well. And I was like, dang, things are pricey, but you do get what you pay for, and you got to invest in yourself, how you were saying. And should I? And I'm like, why am I hesitating so much, man? And I just did it. I'm like, money comes and goes. At the end of the day, you probably go to the gas station, spend like $20 on a few drinks, maybe chips. So I'm like, everything adds up eventually, So I did it, and it's a crazy journey, man, because how can I put it to you? So talking to him and his team, right? Shout out Tommy Lee. He's like, look, I want you to talk to this lady. She's selling some businesses. So I'm like, okay, just pick her brain. So I started picking her brain, and I threw an offer. I wasn't even serious, to be honest with you. And she said, oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? And like my heart was like, dum, dum, dum. Like that. I just throw a business offer and she just take it. And she took it. So I bought 3 of her businesses already operating. They're in different states. So my main thing now has been my laptop. So, I've been having to learn how to go high level, the CRMs, LSA. So I'm completely in a different stage. I have to learn how to delegate, and how we're talking about earlier, W-2s and subcontracting. Everybody subcontracted with me. They make a little bit more. They like it,
Yep.
The thing that's been the biggest challenge is that I'm not in these other states. So when something happens that's like, oh my God, like, what do you mean this happened? It's not like I could just drive up there. Like, for example, something happened with my company out here in Vegas, and it's like, okay, take a 40-minute drive, 20-minute drive. Like, let's go fix this. Let's go fix a problem. Out there, it's like I can only do phone calls, and if it's something really severe, well, let's get on the webcam. And so honestly, yeah, I 100% agree. Investing in yourself it's a cheat code.
What are those 3 businesses? Are they the same thing?
Cleaning, yeah.
Okay.
Only difference is out here I do house cleaning and window cleaning. Out there is just strictly house cleaning. So it's fun, it's crazy, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to quit every day.
Sounds like you're doing it right.
I want to quit every day, bro. Like every day. Prior to me quitting my job, I was on break one day and I just submitted a whole bunch of applications, different companies. So then, like, I'll get on my phone and I'll see, like, oh, call us if you're interested in the foreman position. Oh, call us if you're interested. And then I'm like, oh, nah. And then, like I said, I've been networking, meeting people. So they're like, hey, if you're willing to put this to the side, we could put you here. And it's like, it's tempting. I'm not going to lie. It's tempting, but I'm like, nah, I've always been an all-in type of guy. So I want to see it through, And my biggest thing is, I'm not going to lie. My mentor was like, dude, you should not buy 3 businesses. And I was like, why? He's like, because that's how you're going to fail. But me personally, that's how I learned from my failures. I was a very troubled kid. So I went away for a little bit, and that's the only way I learned. So I was like, well, you're telling me that I'm going to fail? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm going to fail faster. And then he was like, well, if you want to look at it like that, he goes, go all in and I'll be right there with you, helping you out. But he goes, just know it's not going to be easy. And I was like, let's go. And it's not easy, bro.
So what'd you learn from those, like picking those 3 up? Obviously now you're like using CRM and stuff. That was already probably implemented in those businesses.
Yeah, they were already implemented.
And the marketing, you doing Meta, Google? Is it
Google
like a mix?
Google right now. A little bit of Meta, but not really like video ads, just pretty much posting and stuff. I do want to travel, and go visit out there and do video ads, because honestly, like on my social media, I started picking up when it's me on the camera. People, they don't care about Valley View cleaning. Like, it's like, what's that? They're going to forget the name, but they're going to remember my name.
Yeah.
So I want to go out there and show my face, and, start building connections. And it's crazy. It's a migraine almost every day. I'm not kidding. It's overwhelming. There's just so much going on. Like, I got to learn how to manage my time, how to manage my task. And you can't do it by yourself, for sure. Luckily, my girl helps me all the time. Honestly, if it wasn't for her, I would have probably, I already gave up, Like, I don't know how to do computer stuff. Like I said, I was in construction. I could put up this light for you, but like opening up the computer, I was like, what do you mean set up the automations, like SMS campaign, what's that? So it's complete change, bro. Like, it's not something that I envisioned happening, but it happened, and it's like it happened for a reason, so I got to figure it out now. I'm all in.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I would say I'm in technically the same boat. We just brought on high level about a year-ish ago or more. Before that, we were just using Tint and that is a CRM directly created for our industry. But as soon as now we've gotten to the size we've gotten to, when it comes to having the sales teams and stuff, it's like we need to implement something more. So now we have high level to where that is completely used for my sales team and for like technically how the opportunity goes from start to finish. But then we still have TintWiz mixed in for our operations. So our managers use TintWiz when it comes to the actual job. When it comes to the selling, collecting money and all that, it's got to be fed through high level. And then every time we technically, for the past couple months that we've sat down, we have talked with Ryan. It's like certain things. It's like, oh yeah, high level does that. And it's like that program is limitless. How you want to shape it. And then thankfully we've got connected with our ad agency that we're using now, Rewired, and they were already using it. And they kind of they used us as like a beta testing to where we are one of their clients that probably has them do a lot more for us. And I've technically brought them on as my IT when it comes to high level and actually doing all the automations and stuff. And it's like figuring out how to use that program where you think like you figured something out and you're like, oh, we got it good. And then all of a sudden you realize like, all right, now, no, we need to change it to this. And it's like, oh, we just did all that. And now we got to change it now. And then you end up changing it. And it's like a never ending thing. And that's one thing I've gotten from Ryan too. It's like, oh, I changed, like he has a guy on staff, which eventually we probably will get to the point we have to have someone on staff just to cater to every need that we want changed within the program. If you are doing different ad campaigns, pushing out different text messages that you need the follow-ups to change. Like right now we have a set sequence of, I think it's 3 days straight and then 7, 14, and 30. And then it's like, hey, you know what? Let's go all in. Let's do 10 days straight and see what happens. So it's like, that's a switch. You do it. Say 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, you're like, oh, that really didn't work. Let's switch it back to this. And then you got to undo everything you just did and switch it back. And it's just like a never ending cycle of, and then you think you figured it out and then no, let's change it again.
The cool thing though is the technology is allowing you to test and iterate at the fastest pace ever possible. Because you can say, okay, let's change it to this for the next 100 leads and watch the result. And then, okay, we like that or we didn't like that. Okay, let's test this, and you can do that with price, your offer, marketing, every step along the way. You can test and iterate and look at what the results are. Like, what did the numbers come out as? Okay, cool. They improved or they got worse?
Well, even the operational side too, how it flows through the program, letting your team know, like, hey, this is how we're going to use it. But if you guys have ideas, you think it might be faster or something else, like, by all means, let us know. We will implement it. And if it works better, awesome. I could care less if I came up with the idea or not. I just want it to be as smooth and I want it to operate as efficiently as humanly possible for the entire team. I could care less if it's my idea. I don't care.
You look at someone like Elon Musk, like his entire business, all of his businesses are built on him going in and saying, how many processes can we remove? It's like, if you can't remove 60% of the processes that are happening and you don't have to get to the point that you're adding like 10 to 20 things back in, you're not removing enough. Like remove. How simple can you make it? And it still is effective and works. And you should be doing that to the point that you have to add stuff back in. Like that's entirely how that dude operates.
The funny part is that's entirely how when I was an installer, like the main installer. That's how I was so efficient as an installer. I ripped away as much as I possibly could to make sure that the quality was still the same, but I was doing less than everyone else because I wanted to skip as many steps as I possibly could without obviously damaging my quality of my installation. Because when you're an installer, you get paid per square foot. The more you can get done, the more you make. So it comes with time. After you are doing it for so long, you get faster and faster just because you're doing the same operation over and over again. You start figuring out ways like, hold on, I don't got to do all this because I know when I do this step over here, it'll take care of that. And then I can shave that off. That saves me, 30 seconds on every pane. Do that through the entire year. How many more square feet am I installing? I just increased my pay dramatically. So that's how I've always looked at it. That's probably one of the reasons why I love the operation side of this. They said, having people around you, having a good team. Like, thankfully I have my sister and I have my brother. Like, I can just focus on the things I know I'm good at. He's great at sales. Sell away. I can do sales. I hate it. I don't enjoy it at all. I know I can because I have the experience of the product and of installing, and I can speak from just being in the industry as long as I have, to where I can make a customer, not make them, but they know that they get the sense that they can trust what I'm talking about because I'm knowledgeable in those areas. But like the actual going out and making a sale, it's not fun for me. I like getting a big project and like, all right, how are we going to get this project done in a very fast amount of time with the least amount of waste, and like make it as efficient as humanly possible so we can all knock this out together. Like, that's fun for me. I love getting to the project side of things and operations. Sales, hate. Absolutely hate.
Would you say that your business is particularly sales and customer service?
Yes, absolutely. Customer service is a huge part of it. I'd say 55 or 60%? 60% is return customer.
Yeah, it's always floating between like 55 and 60 is either repeat or referral.
Yeah, the biggest thing my dad taught us growing up was word of mouth and quality customer service. Nail those three things, and the rest will take care of itself.
And now I think it's even bigger than just customer service. I think it's overall customer experience. Like, we're in the experience economy now. So how can you provide the overall best experience for the customer? Like, everybody knows customer service is important. And if you don't, you're not going to be around very long.
I'm not too worried.
But if you really want to excel, how can you provide the best customer experience? All the little extra things, like using CRMs and having them get automated updates, getting a phone call or a text before arriving, like all of those little things throughout the entire process, all the way through the end of, like, we give our customers a can of glass cleaner at the end of every install that has the instructions on it that our guys go over with them to let them know, like, not to use ammonia or Windex. You don't have to do that, but it's like, that's memorable, and it's there's synergy to it too, right? Like, now they've got our logo sitting in there underneath their sink. And every time they go to clean their windows, they're reminded who we are.
Yeah, the definitely experience is speed to lead. By the time someone calls in, or if we've missed a phone call, or we get just someone fills out a lead form, get to them as soon as possible.
That's a crazy one. That I didn't realize how important that was. Like, there's statistics that you have like an 80% drop off in conversion rate if you don't respond within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. And it's like, there's a lot of companies out there that don't respond for days.
Oh yeah, yeah. So getting back to them as soon as possible. Obviously, then getting them scheduled before he goes out to even make the sell. They'll let him know, the sales team in general will give like a 30-minute heads up, sometimes 45 minutes, or even if you know you're at the beginning of the time window or your day's running late, you can technically reach out to your customers and say, hey, it's going to be towards the end part. But just like giving the customer a heads up that, hey, I'm going to be here at this time. Like, all of my installers, when they go to houses, like, the one thing has to happen is 30 minutes before that first window, for that first time. If you're selling between 9 and 10, at 8:30, you better have text or call that customer and given them an exact time in that period. Because sometimes it's a 2-hour window. That's just a sign of respect for me. It's just letting the customer know that you actually respect their time. If you're going to be there towards the end of that 2-hour window, maybe they could have went to they were waiting for you to get there, so they go to the grocery store or go do something, and then say you don't call them at all, but you show up within the window. It's like, yeah, you showed up on time, but like, just a small little courtesy of, hey, we're running a little behind this morning. We're going to be around that end of that 2-hour time frame. That alone will stick out in a customer's head. Like, for me as a consumer, like, to me that sticks out. And I'm willing to spend a good amount of money on a service as long as, like, if those points are being hit. Like, this, I just want you to respect my time. Don't tell me a time and then an hour and a half past that time, hey, we're running a little bit behind. We'll be there in about 2 hours. It's like, why didn't you tell me beforehand? I could have went and got stuff done. Do you think my time is useless? Like, that bugs me as a consumer. So I know it bugs other consumers. Yeah. So that's for me, you have to hit that, because by the time we actually get in there, they show up on time and they let people know when they're going to show up. And like, usually we've already stepped over the bar of any other person who's come out. It's like, you showed up on time. You actually called me. I appreciate that. That's when we get quite often. You guys called me back. And it's like, okay. Really low bar to step over. And then it's like, you walk into someone's home, shoes come off instantly. And like, without customer asking, that's one thing. Another thing I harp on to my guys: do not make a customer tell you to take your shoes off. Just start taking them off. Don't ask them if you have to. Just take them off. Half the time, the customer, you'll get halfway through taking the shoe off. Don't worry about it. I have dogs. Thank you. I appreciate it. And this, they don't care. They let you make up your decision. Some people just will straight out say, like, I do not want shoes in my house, and they won't feel one way about it. But then there's a percentage of people that don't want shoes in their house, but they don't want to say anything, so they're not confrontational people, so they just won't say anything. So they'll just kind of let you walk in, but it's underneath their skin. to where if now you're the one person who walked in their house to give them an estimate and you took your shoes off without them having to say a thing to you, and the previous two guys walked all over the place with their boots, like, I'm willing to bet they're going to end up spending more money and they'll rather go with us because we showed them that sign of respect. Those small little things absolutely add up. And those are a lot of things that I would say a good majority, like there's a percentage of our industry that does it, but then there's a way bigger percentage of our industry that just doesn't even think about those things. You know?
Yeah, I've even heard people be like, man, I just tell them I'm leaving my shoes on because of OSHA. And it's like, man, business is a numbers game, man. And like, yeah, is there a percentage of people that don't care? Sure. But there's this percentage of people that do. So like, I want to cover all my bases and I want the highest possible percentage chance of getting a repeat customer or a referral as possible. So check all of those boxes. And now you're going to increase your numbers. It's like the 5-minute callback. Like it's the same thing. That sounds crazy. That statistic sounds like it's inflated, but there's all kinds of studies that show that it's true. So it's like increase your odds. I mean, if you go into the casino and there's any way to increase your odds when you're gambling, you're going to do it if you actually want to win some money. But like, why would you not do that with your business? Like, it's just straight numbers. Like increase your odds of success every step of the way. And those are they're really simple little things to do. Like under promise, over deliver in every aspect that you possibly can. If you need to give windows of times because there's sometimes one job might take longer than another or a consultation might take longer than another, give a window of time. And then try to beat that window and contact the person ahead of time. And if something does come up where you are going to be in the middle of the window, if you let them know ahead of time, there's going to be a large percentage of people that appreciate the fact that you respected their time. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the whole reason to be fast in business and try to get stuff done as quickly as possible is because time's like the one irreplaceable like asset that we have. Like you just said, like I can always make more money. But like the one thing you're not going to be able to replace is your time. That's why it's so valuable to spend money on getting education to fix the stuff that you don't want to make mistakes with now as soon as possible. If you're heading the wrong direction on the highway, do you want to turn around a mile in or 20 miles in?
Mile in.
Yeah, right? Like it's pretty obvious when you talk about it like that. And people are doing the same thing in their business every day. Like I'm just going to figure it out. I'm just driving without GPS on and just like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong city.
Things that we used to hyper focus on, we pretty much got like, I'm gonna say disproved, but we were shown that like it doesn't matter that much. Like we were kind of hung up on, at least on the auto side, is we always carried films that every single one of the films was lifetime warranty. Well, we made a move that our entry level and still a high end dyed film, but it only has a 5-year warranty. Well, the question got brought up. We were talking with Ryan, and like he literally walked over to his bullpen where he had a bunch of sales guys. He's like, all right, who recently got their car tinted? All right, who knows what their warranty is? And I think one person answered the question, like, I think lifetime, and everyone else was like, I've got no clue. And he goes, that's my point exactly.
Mine's lifetime.
Yeah. He was just pointing out the fact that, like, he goes, when it comes down to, are you going to take care of your customer? It's like, well, yeah, we will. And he goes, that's all people care about. Are you going to take care of them? Yes, you can say they have a 5-year or a lifetime warranty, but I would almost guarantee that person is going to rather go out in the fact of like, hey, I trust you. I know you're going to take care of it if it needs to be taken care of. Because the majority of the time, even if we had a film that something went wrong and it was past the 5-year mark, I get creative with it, and I'd probably would even like try to sell them on upgrading to ceramic and do it at a discounted rate to where it's like, yeah, I covered my bases, get my guys paid, now I get to move them into a better film for extreme discount because this film went bad. But like there's always a workaround, even if it's just replace it for the customer. What is that going to do for you? All right, you made that one customer extremely happy. Most likely, they're going to go out and talk about you. They're probably going to land you a couple more jobs. It's paid for itself. Instead of sticking with the fact of like, hey, nope, can't take care of it. Now you just created a technical one enemy. That one person is going to go out of their way to talk bad about you and make sure you don't get business, and it's going to hurt you and it's going to hurt the industry. So as long as you're always willing to take care of your customer, besides whatever the hell the warranty is, are you going to take care of your customers always? Yeah. Stop getting hung up on what the warranty is. Who cares? If the manufacturer's there to help, awesome. If they're not, you're still going to take care of them, right? Yeah. Well, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's one of those funny things that like when we talked about it with him and I really started thinking about it, it's like the manufacturers of the film use the different tiers of warranty level to justify different price tiers of their film because the quality is different and some films are better than others. But it's like that automatically industry wide translated in like, that's now a marketing tool for us. Lifetime warranty, lifetime warranty, lifetime warranty. But the end consumer, for the most part, especially the person that's just trying to get the best deal, they don't care. They don't care. They want to go somewhere that it's going to get done, you know, and everybody's different too, right? There's people that have $100 to spend to get their windows tinted. They're not going to come to us no matter what. They're going to go wherever they can get it done because price is the most important thing to them. But the people that want quality are looking on Google, seeing our reviews, seeing how long we've been in business. They're going to come to us, and price isn't going to be as much of a factor. So they're not even going to look at that entry level, lesser warranty film anyways. But it's there for the person that doesn't care. So it's like, it is what there's different customers for different products and services.
Oh, absolutely. But even beyond that, the person who's not even caring about looking at the warranty, they're just looking at the company like, can I trust this company? Can I trust them? I can trust them. Okay, let's get the work done. Something goes wrong, as long as you take care of it, they're not even thinking about what the warranty is. They don't care.
Imagine someone's on a 2-year lease. A 5-year warranty is plenty. They're not even going to have the car in 2 years.
Well, that's
like,
that's other statistic. I think people turn their cars over, which it used to be, I think it was like every 4 years. I think that's kind of changed now. It's because the price of cars have gone through the damn roof. But for the most part, there's lifetime products on auto tint only because the manufacturer knows that car is going to change hands. As soon as it changes hands, it's no longer a lifetime warranty, like limited lifetime. That's why I get that question, I wouldn't say every day, but at least once a week we'll have a customer. It says limited. What's that mean? It's like, well, you sell your car. No longer lifetime warranty. The manufacturer washes his hands, and that's how they get away from it because every product's going to fail.
They're not transferable anymore? Aren't some of them transferable?
But it's no longer lifetime.
Oh, it's transferable and it has a date on it now?
Becomes like a 3-year warranty past that.
I haven't dealt with auto in a long time. I just do the architectural.
Even in houses. Houses are limited lifetime too. If you're the original purchaser, lifetime. As soon as you switch hands and you transfer the warranty, it becomes a term warranty. That's why all the warranties say limited lifetime.
What's the term?
I think 5 years, and I think 5 years from when the point you take over.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. What's funny about that is I can't even think of any customer ever even asking me about that.
Nope, they don't care.
To prove, yeah, they don't care.
They don't care. Because usually when you sell your house, you're like, I'm out. It's your problem now. You're not thinking about the tint or any warranty or anything like that. And most of the time, whoever moves in, if they don't like the way it looks, if it's too dark or whatever, they usually just call a company, you come out and remove it. You know, so it's like we always got hung up on that one thing, and then just like having that one conversation is like, you need to stop getting hung up on the small things. Like that doesn't matter to your customer. You think it matters to them, but if you were to go do a group polling, which he did live in front of us, and he's like, not one of them has any clue what they paid for or what warranty they got. They got no clue. They don't care. They just went to somewhere they trusted. And as long as your consumer trusts you and you take care of them, I mean, how often it's going to be such a small percentage where that would technically, where someone will sit there and stew and go, oh, it's going to cost me money. What, does it happen a handful of times a year? Do that against how much money you made that year, how many consumers you had that year. Like, was it worth worrying about such a little thing?
Plus the industry's changed too. I think back when like in the 90s, when that was like a big deal, that was like part of the marketing was lifetime warranty film. Back then, film was shitty and it failed quick. So that was important to the consumer. Now, most films last and most people don't care. Yeah. So it has changed.
What issues do you ever run into when it comes to like, my mind, window cleanings? That's always something we've entertained possibly adding to our repertoire. And because we have the clientele list, we have thousands of people, consumers that have tinted their houses, which they make the same joke every time. You going to clean the outside now? Every time when we are installing, and just we've never added it, but like, what do you run into on the window cleaning side? I'm very interested in that.
Like problems?
Yeah, or it's even the questions with consumers.
Questions. So talking about tint, right? There's certain tint. I don't know about tint, film, anything, but that's not good. Like I'll spray the window and like you'll see the tint like mess up, and I'll be like, what just happened? And lucky I'm insured, you know, and I told the lady, I'm like, I honestly don't know what happened, but this just happened to your window. Her response was, she was cool about it. She goes, oh, it's crappy tint from Amazon.
Oh yeah.
I was say,
Yeah. So that's where the big manufacturers do have that lifetime warranty, is to separate it from because there's film out there you can get for your home even that's like a 3-year warranty, and it's like it's probably not even going to last 3 years because it's being sold to the end consumer to just DIY.
that film was probably cooked.
Was it on the outside or the inside?
It was on the outside.
Oh yeah,
No, it was
definitely.
cooked.
So exterior
Yeah.
film's always going to go bad eventually. Our exterior films we're using have a 10-year warranty, so that's not going to happen for at least 10 years. But all exterior film will eventually have that, and it's got a coating on it on the surface if it's good.
Well, it most likely wasn't even exterior film. It was
Yeah.
probably interior
Yeah.
film put on the outside,
Yeah.
and that stuff's
Yeah.
gonna cook up instantly. So I
Yeah.
could probably just like poofed all of a sudden, just started draining down the window.
I stay away from older houses because integrity is not right. I did a house and I'm washing the windows, and I don't know what something told me to stop. And I stopped and I looked, and there was a leak. And I'm like, no, dude. Like all the water went inside, like in between the windows.
Oh, seal failure.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like, it was just all bad.
All right, so here we come across that all the time. Set expectations.
Yep.
Let customers know on older homes, hey, Vegas, it's hot out here. Seal failure, from the manufacturer, a brand new window only has 3 year? Sometimes
Typical, typical is 3, some 5.
3 to 5 years seal failure warranty. They are all going to fail out here, and we come across it all the time. So I come across older windows. I let the customer know, if I see seal failure where it's already got signs that it had gotten moist inside the window just from condensation and it's dried, you can kind of see it. But even if I don't see it, I'll let them know, like, hey, these look like older windows. I'm not seeing any seal failure right now, but as soon as my guys wet the windows, the moisture around the seals, if the seals failed, just the difference in temperature from the outside being hot and the inside being cold, that moisture is going to get sucked into the window and you're going to see it. That isn't something we're causing. It's just something we're highlighting by wetting your window. So you can prep people ahead of time and let them know, like, hey, these are older windows. When we go to clean them, if you have seal failure, the inside of the window is going to fog up and look like it's wet inside, and that's nothing that I can control, and it'll just be a window you need to replace. So like you can set that expectation ahead of time, and now it's not on you.
Yeah, I started now, but super fogged up.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Especially
we come across it all the time.
Especially with exterior. You're probably running it with interior. Thankfully, with us, when we are just doing interior installs, the outside could be destroyed and the inside could still be good to go, and you not realize it. But most of the time, when you hit the outside, and it's usually if it rains, if water hits it, say we're getting a high wind, they get water hitting a certain window that hasn't hit in a long time. Yeah, as soon as that water hits the outside of that window, if that seal's failed, you'll know instantly.
Oh yeah, instantly.
Oh, yeah.
And it's honestly, those have been the main problems. And then now it's more I'm delegating, so it's more having the trust. You trust him, but it's like you just, well, me personally, I'm not gonna say but like, damn, did he do good? Is it good? But it's good, but I just always have that, like, in that first I'll call like, oh, is everything good? And I'm like, bro, you gotta chill out. It's good, or else they wouldn't be in that position helping you out.
Yeah.
Honestly. Right now, I'm running into more problems on the house cleaning side, because again, it's delegating, and I can't be everywhere. So it's been more I am satisfactory guarantee for sure, but I need a walkthrough. So then I have clients who, there's some clients who just want a quick dollar and they just want a super discount. I had a client who told me he didn't do a walkthrough, and that he wanted 50% off, and he started sending me pictures, and I'm talking about like a picture of that, like a picture of like that, like nothing, right? But you can't just like, no, you're wrong, like no. So you have to figure it out. Like obviously he's calling for a reason. He's upset. So I asked him if he did a walkthrough. He said no. I asked him again. He said yes. I asked the cleaner. They said yes. That he told him to like F off pretty much. Like, okay, you're good. So then I'm like, sir, well, the thing is that you did the walkthrough. You said no, then you said yes. He said that one didn't count. And
Customers are always fun.
That's another thing where raising your prices and not like we'll do it where if it's a big enough project and they're looking for a little bit of a deal, we've raised our prices enough now where we got a little bit of wiggle room to give a discount. But if that's like the main sticking point of the customer, I'm on to the next one, man, because they're gonna be that person. The people that are fighting for the biggest discount are typically the biggest pain in the ass, and not wasting any more of your time on them and just going to the next one, you'll find is like it's gonna relieve a lot of stress.
Yeah, picking and choosing is something that I picked up, and I've been picked. My dad, he owns a print shop, so how you guys were talking about like training them. Oh, I messed up a lot of vinyl, bro.
Oh yeah,
a lot of bubbles and all, and like the customer's not happy. But what I learned from my dad, he's not picky with his clients. So when I was working with him, we would have a lot of, like clients who they weren't upset about the job, but they were more upset that they ended up paying the amount, So at the end, they want a discount. So I started being very, very picky. And, some might say you're not really in the position to be picky, like wait till you're picking up more. But I have been learning, and I have seen from my dad and others and myself that it just costs more, because now you got to deal with the phone calls, and that's time that you're taking away from, your emails, or messing with Go High Level or whatever it may be. And it costs more in the long run, because now they want a discount, and I'm all for it. Like if I can, for sure, but they want like 50% off, or I can't do that. And for the most part, like my prices aren't cheap. I'm not for everybody, With window cleaning, here's the main thing that I like about it. It's not a necessity. Straight up, it is not a necessity. It's more of a luxury. So who needs window cleaning? People who have money. For the most part, you clean the window, people don't even notice, but the people that want it or that say they need it are people who have money, people who I want to talk to, because they're in the position I want to be in. When the whole window cleaning thing came apart too, I was like, well, this could be a stepping stone, and I'm going to use it for networking, and if I start making money too, then cool. And, it kind of got forced when they switched me back to days and I just quit. But I wouldn't have met you guys if it wasn't for window cleaning. You guys gave me a lot of knowledge right now. I'm not gonna learn by myself. I'm not just gonna walk out of here and I picked this up. So it has helped me a lot. I have met a lot of people, and I'm just like, whoa, man. Window cleaning is awesome. It's a awesome stepping stone. You don't know who you meet. And people, how you guys were talking about, like people want to help. And at first I was going to network events, and I'm like, well, this looks like a casino, bro, in somebody's house, and they want to help, and it's crazy. Then on social media, I'll start reaching out to people randomly and being transparent 100%, telling them like, look, I just started. Some even ask me, do you even know how to clean the window? I'm like, a little bit. They're like, how? I'm like, well, what I seen on YouTube, to be honest with you. And people gave me chances, though. They're like, okay, somebody who gave me a good chance, Chad from Bake, the cookie shop, him and Trung. On top of that, they give me a lot of business knowledge on the side. But when I cleaned their windows and Chad was like, oh, let's do a collab, bro, like I started picking up tractions. People were like, wait, you clean Bake? Their windows? I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay. And then I started getting, more storefronts, just from them, So I would have never met them if it wasn't for window cleaning. And they opened up more doors, It's crazy, because I'm 28 right now. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have been like, am I going to be alive at 28, to be honest with you? So, it's fun, man. It's awesome. Like it's just so many different opportunities that you just start like house cleaning, like what, and then now I work remotely, so it's a trip, man. It's a trip.
Yeah. It's I didn't realize how lucky we were kind of growing up. I mean, I did, but didn't. You know, we got lucky in the fact that obviously our parents started a small business. They kept it going for as long as they did. And then we just got lucky enough we started learning the trait and the skill. When, I mean, for me, I probably started around 10, 11. We probably had OFAs in our hands before then, but like actually starting to install stuff was around like 10, 11 years old. And then my first install on a house was I was 14. I looked passable to be 16-ish. To where my dad sold the customer on the fact that, yeah, he's my teenager, and just kind of, you know, half truths, not telling them exactly how old I am. But then where the real luck came in is that I enjoy what I do, especially when I was an installer. Like, you know, I ended up getting to the point where we've gone to competitions, and like I got to prove that, like, no, I think I'm one of the best in the world, and I've been able to prove that. And now it's like now we're on the business side of it, and we're stepping away from installing. Like the past 2 years, like I hardly install now. And it's like, all right, now we're doing the business side of stuff. And it's like, all right, like, it's an industry that I love. And I just want to try to help grow the industry as much as I can because it's provided everything for us. And now doing the business side of like, you know, high level and coordinating everything, looking at the numbers. And it's like not knowing how you're going to react to that. And then you get to that point. It's like, actually, yeah, it's stressful as hell, but extremely enjoyable.
Yeah,
like,
shifting from like wanting to grow the gross number to like, hey, what's the profit?
Yeah, what's the? I only care about what's the net. Yeah, what's the net? And that was one other thing I picked up from working with Ryan.
As an installer, it's just like how much can my paycheck be? Yeah, you're not necessarily paying attention to what's the profit on the other end of the business. You know.
Yeah, and for the most part, you know, my cleaners earn more than me. You know, because yeah, you know, we split the percentage, but that's not all me, you know, the overhead, you know, Go high level's not free. I wish it was. That'd be awesome. You know,
that'd be great.
You know, I was lucky too. My dad, like I said, he has a print shop, and he didn't always do that. So, you know, in 2008, when everything happened, you know, we lost everything. You know, we had very little, went to something, and then lost. You know, so. Don't know why, or my dad started making business cards. And oh man, I used to hate him for this. Wake me up at 5 a.m. to go to the border swap meet and let's go sell sunglasses and try to sell business cards. And I'm pissed. I'm like 10, like, why, dude? Like, I'm trying to kick it. And I'm like angry, like really angry. And, you know, I was a little kid, a little brat, you know, whatever. And then they went to we went down Sahara from like the Palace Station all the way. I don't know, remember where exactly, but business to business. You know, just opening the door. Hey, excuse me. And then he was like, okay, now you got to do it on your own. You hit one, I hit one. You hit one, I hit one. And I was like 10 years old, bro, like trying to sell them business cards or ask them, can we leave our business cards here? And but now that I'm older, I appreciate him. Like, I love him for that because that gave me a go-getter mentality. Like, I don't get upset now. Like, I don't get knocked down. Like, bro, I'll knock like 100 doors and I get one sale. Not even one person opening their door. And it's like, okay, I'm messing up. Nobody opened the door, wrong demographics. Where else should I be, you know? If they're yelling at me, is it my pitch? Am I not dressed the part? You know, what's going on? And I'm thankful for him now, you know.
That's probably the most valuable. That's more valuable than anything you learned in school.
Yeah. You know, for sure. And not something that he always told me, you know, like chill. Like, he's a very happy person. You know, even when I'm like, dude, like, what? He's just like, you know, like, so that kind of, it was contagious. Like, now I'm like, it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. Like, you know, it could be a lot worse. That's just always my thing. You know, me doing this, is it going to get me in a position where I'm going to go to jail or die? No. What's the worst that could happen? I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
That's the worst. What's the worst that I'm going to go bankrupt and run it again and maybe have to get a regular job for a little bit, you know, so I could, you know, do what I want to do again. But I mean, is that the worst that could happen? You know, when you take a risk in business, is there a risk? You know, honestly, because you're learning, you know, it's a process. You know,
That's a hell of a way to look at it, man. You're gonna be successful.
Yeah.
Like if that's how you're looking at it right now, like
That's the best way to look at it.
you're gonna be successful. Like I'm pretty confident. Like we're gonna come back and we're gonna do this again in a year, and you're gonna be doing more. You're gonna be doing better than you're doing right now. Like I can like confidently say that. Like if that's how you're looking at it and you're acting, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. What we were talking about before the podcast about, you know, translations. I think in life everything translates. You know, whether it be business, you know, Harmon's, you know, his business models, they translate to every business.
Yep.
You know, everything translates. And a lot of people say that sports helped them be successful. Me, I was a troublemaker. And people were like, wait, what? So how did that help you? And it was the risk factor that is like, now that I'm older, I'm like, bro, what's the worst that could happen? There's nothing that could happen. I already hit rock bottom. You know, I already went away for a little bit. You know, what's the worst that can happen?
Dude, I love that. Like I just got goosebumps you saying that, bro.
That's
what I felt. The military was the biggest like thing for me. Like having been deployed and whatnot. Like it's like, man, I probably I've gone too far to one side of like taking more risk than I should. On like, are we gonna die? No,
For real.
All right, let's go. Like I love that mentality.
No, that's, if anything, that is something that people bump up against and can't get past, and why they won't scale and grow is the feeling that they can't take that risk. I have a slight feeling that my parents were kind of like that, but also they went through the crash in 07,
01 too.
01. Well, I'm pretty sure something.
Actually, no. Actually, what landed us here, the early 90s.
That's not the reason why, though.
But that was definitely a factor.
Whatever.
We went from 4 shops to 1 right at that exact same time, and then we moved here. That was a factor.
Yeah. So it's just like, even when we started, when my dad had a stroke in 2020, and he was already, the writing was on the wall, and he was already saying like, I'm stepping out sooner than later. I want to be grandpa. And it just, that was unfortunately like that. So when that happened, it was just like, there is no transition. Like it happened right then. And we are definitely have been a lot more, I'd say, risky with how we've made decisions. We kind of run the company as a board of trustees. It's all 5 of us have a say, and pretty much 3 seals the deal. You get 3 yeses. The other 2 could hate the idea adamantly. It does not matter. It happens, and we move forward with it. And if it obviously if it becomes a problem, we pivot and we change. And we've now looked at almost all of our decisions. Like, is there how permanent is this decision? All right, it's not that permanent. Cost us. See what happens over a couple of weeks. Doesn't work out. We can go back to what we were doing. Right? Yeah. Okay. Let's give it a try. But my parents were definitely a lot more on the side of they did take risk. I didn't say they didn't take risk, but they're very cautious in what they did. And we are still cautious too. We plan it. We definitely will try to look at things from as many angles as we possibly can. But yeah, there becomes a point where it's like, only way we're going to know if this works or not is we just got to pull the trigger and do it. And then, as long as we're consistent in trying it, we'll know if it works or not. If it doesn't work, go back to what we were doing. If it does work, awesome. Let's proceed with what we're doing.
Learn from it.
Yeah, learn from it, man. That's a big thing. Like, yeah, that's the biggest thing is as long as you learn from, like, when it comes to any mind installers, we have SOPs that we've drawn up of things that have happened in the past that have cost us money or something that's gone wrong. It's like, all right, don't do this. And if something happens, every person I bring on, I tell them, if something happens and it's just pure freak accident and you didn't skip a process to make that happen, like, I'm never going to ask you to pay for it. It's not your problem. This isn't your business. Like, that burden shouldn't lay on you. Like, I get it. But after it happens, we are going to address the situation, the fact, like, all right, how'd this happen? This is how it happened. All right, from now on, we don't do this. This is a step that we can't skip because we know that this can happen. Everyone cool? Cool. Now, if I catch you blatantly skipping that because you're trying to rush through your work or you're just not following the SOPs, yeah, I'm not paying for it. Because we already knew this was a problem, and you just blatantly went outside the lines, and you're like, oh, I don't care. I'm going to do it my way anyway. And it's like, that's what caused that issue last time. That's what cost us money last time. We can't do that. So it's like for our cars, we have to put a towel down and what's called a soak shield. It's pretty much like a braided microfiber towel that we jam into the bottom of the windshields.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
What does that do?
So when you put that in the bottom of a windshield, when the water goes down the window, it catches the water so it doesn't flow into the dash. Now, a lot of the new vehicles all are fiber optic, so they're really hard to fry them now, but you still can get water in certain areas and it can screw up the electronics. We had a Nissan GTR. Did all the right steps, but then they went to go get something out of the window, forgot to recover, forgot to stuff the soak rope down in the bottom. What ends up happening, water gets in it, car remote won't work. Ended up frying something and it was like $2,300. Like, it was one of those things where that got added into the SOPs and we sat down, we had a meeting. Anytime you touch a windshield, these 2 steps happen no matter what. If you skip them, that's on you. You're making this decision. I am not forcing you to pay for something because I'm being a dick. I'm letting you know if you skip these 2 processes that you made that decision, you took that risk. That risk is on you and your paycheck. Now, if you do those 2 things and a freak accident happens, I'm not having you pay for anything. You did what was asked of you. And that's how we were trying to, we will take as many precautions as possible to make sure we don't break anything. If as long as you take those precautions, like when a car gets pulled in, wipe the car down to begin with. Glass has defects in it constantly. It could have just came off the showroom floor. I guarantee there's defects in the vehicle. So do to the best of our ability, wipe the vehicle down. If you see a scratch or a defect, notate it, take a picture of it. And as long as all those processes get done in the order it's supposed to, like a customer say, well, I just bought that car. Well, here, I'll show you a video. This is you pulling up to my shop. This is my people taking the photos. This is my manager driving it into the shop. And then here's another video of my guys before they've touched anything, walking your vehicle and wiping it down and then pointing out the defect and then putting it in our program. Like, there's no possible way we could have caused this. As long as you give me that ammo to show to the customer, like, hey, this was not us, then majority of the time the customer sees that and they're like, oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. But if you skip any of those processes, I'm not going to argue with the customer. I'm not going to sit there. I'm going to point it out and see what they say. And if they're like, well, no, it's a brand new car that definitely wasn't there. I just washed my car. Completely understand. I'll take care of it. I just pay for it. Now, you skip any of those processes, in which we've slowly built that process up over time to where it's like, follow this process to where if it is something that we didn't cause, just give me the photos and the timestamps to show them like, hey, we didn't do this. 99% of customers are cool with that. They understand. Like, I had one guy had a scratch on the back of his black car, and he ended up doing like all the like wiring and stuff for our network in our shop too. Like, he came to me, he's like, there's a scratch in the back of my car. I went to the picture, I zoomed in. I was like, that scratch? And he's like, oh, he's like, I just
before we ever pulled it in out front.
Yeah. And he's like, I just washed it this morning. I didn't see it. And it's like, it happens. Like, so but as long as my guys follow the correct steps, I don't worry about it. But if you follow those steps and we can't find it because it's just the angle of the photo or whatever, like, I'll never ask any of my installers to have to pay for something if they follow the SOPs the way they're supposed to. If it's a freak accident, something new, is what it is. We're gonna break it down after the fact to figure out what we can do to try to avoid it next time so we can avoid the cost of it. And if we can avoid it, awesome. If there's a certain thing we have to add, we'll add it and then just follow procedure. You follow procedure, I'll never ask you to pay for anything ever. As long as you follow the procedures that we know we need in place, because we've already fallen into the categories that we had to pay money to replace a part on a car, get a scratch buffed out on a car, replace a window in a house, stucco. When you're opening drapes, first thing you do when you open the drapes, look at the walls. Because most likely that customer hasn't looked at those walls in ages. Because majority of the time when we put film on the inside, as soon as you wet the window, you're like, yeah, this window hasn't been cleaned in about 6-7 years. And then the customer will say, that's the first time it's been cleaned since I moved in here. So it's like, look around your surroundings. If you see something that's off, take a picture, let the customer know. Most likely they've never seen it because they've never peeled that back before. If you point it out to them before you touch the window, they're like, oh, I didn't know. Thanks for letting me know. And then they trust you even more because you're taking the time to inspect either the job site or their car, and they respect that. I'm not just trying to get you in and out. Like, I'm actually observing everything around and I'm letting you know what I spot's wrong or what might be highlighted after I tint a window or do anything to your job. So, but yeah, definitely that's a hell of a mindset to have. You'll be just fine.
Thank you, man.
You'll be just fine.
Pictures is a huge thing.
Oh,
I'm big on pictures, man. The documentation, I need it for sure.
Yeah. I can't imagine doing business in like the 90s before we had the ability to just take
handshake.
Pictures. Yeah, it's crazy though.
No e-signature, nothing.
Yeah.
Which for the most part, like, yeah, we gather signatures and stuff, but we we are going through our leads, or at least we are trying to market towards a certain consumer where that trust is there, to where, again, all they care about is that it gets taken care of and they're cool. And then you think about the percentage of how many times things actually go sideways. 1-2% for an entire year.
Like you were saying, like house cleaning and window cleaning and even film to an extent is kind of a luxury item. Like it's not something you have to have. So like when we were talking about discounting earlier, I was thinking about this because there's something that I just saw Hermosi saying, and then it was a topic of conversation at the conference we were just at. The person that's wanting like a huge discount or something, like you're saying you give satisfaction guarantee in a walkthrough. Like maybe it's worth it to do the job at a discount just to keep your guy busy. Change your offer. Like, all right, hey, you want a discount? Cool. I can do that discount, but I'm not giving the satisfaction guarantee and there's no walkthrough. I'll give you so now it's a different offer and you know what I mean? Or if they're not cool with that, then on to the next one.
That's so funny you just said that, right? Because literally 3 days ago, I'm not sure. I was listening to all three of his books, the 100 million offer and the leads and the new one that just came out. And one of them, he said that, okay, yeah, for sure. But I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. And that's the first thing I took off. For sure, I can give you a discount, but I'm going to have to remove the satisfactory guarantee. It's a reason that we charge so high because we're premium. Yeah, you could for sure find a cleaning company and do it way cheaper. But are they really going to go through the house and thoroughly clean it?
Yep.
That's the real question,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That was just when you were talking about that, I was like, man, that would honestly, we need to play around with that a little bit too. Anyways, it's been really good having you on, man. We're gonna have to do this again, and me and you need to talk some more because I've got a lot of customers that need some windows cleaned.
Oh yeah, I definitely plan on talking about that. So, but yeah, I would say within let's give it a year and definitely sit down and do this again.
Thank you, bro.
Really enjoyed this conversation. Like I said, you keep that mindset, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
The stress comes and goes. The good definitely outweighs the negative. Like, I mean, there are plenty of days where I think the same thing. Like, dude, I could just be installing right now, making probably double what I make at the moment, but I'm not building anything. So it's like, would that really be gratifying? And eventually my body's going to give. Like, I can only do this for so long because there's plenty of installers that I could go subcontract through the country. And I know that I could go work for some of the bigger companies that just have huge projects that need to be done. That it's all about how much can you hang in a day. And it's like, I could get back after doing that. And like I've told my wife about it too. I was like, I can make more than I'm making right now, but you're not going to see me for like 4 or 5 days in a row. And she's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm like, lady, for me, I don't want that to happen either. I don't want to be away from you. Don't want to be away from my son. So it's like, but there are the days where it's like, I miss just being in a customer's house. And it's like, I have headphones in, listen to a podcast or listen to a book, and I just get to tint and not worry about nothing else. Those thoughts do happen. But then I get back to what I'm doing. It's like, all right, this low will only go on, or this stress is only going to go on for so long. We'll get past it, and then you move on to the next thing, and it's a huge success. And like the high from that, you're like, what was I worried about? Like, what was I even thinking about? So yeah, that unfortunately will not go away, but that's running a business.
Yeah, man.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So definitely until next time, dude.
For sure, man.
Definitely look forward to doing this again.
Sure.
All right, you guys know how it works. Follow along, subscribe, comment. We appreciate it.
Thank you.